Should we go to this meeting?
Yeah. Let me just get a snack first.
Snack? I brought a snack.
Oh, that's okay. I'm good.
Oh, no. I got this. Told you I brought a snack.
There's a better way to eat pickles on the go. Sucker Punch, the snack with a snap.
That's breaking out their iPhone, downloading StreetKart Racing from the Apple App Store, and going racing no matter where they are around the world. We saw that on great display with some of our competitors back in Prodigy Week Part 1. Lauren Beerton, a professional 737 pilot, one of the fastest when he got to the track itself. And our contingent from StreetKart Racing is a vocal supporter of our mission, and we're glad to have them along for the ride. Already 2 Prodigy passes have been handed out courtesy of on-track performance. Congratulations to Craig Tough Monkey Laws, one of the staples of the community, as well as Jai Fletcher for winning their Prodigy passes. Jai Fletcher downloaded the app 9 days before he won that Prodigy pass. A Prodigy to pick it up so quickly. If you're wondering what Prodigy Week is, it's about figuring out how the sim drivers will translate into the real world, testing them mentally, physically, giving them media training, and then throwing them into a Radical SR1 and learning a little bit more about them. Let's find out more about Prodigy Week Part 2.
Look at the number of participants who had a shot at this, who wanted to be one of 12 of 60-something thousand. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself. What a diverse group of drivers, what a diverse group of participants. Just really cool. They should all be very, very proud.
Players around 4 platforms. I mean, I'm lucky to be here.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. Hickory, dog, giving them to determine. Right in the storm, but focus on rainbow connections like Kermit. The water on my shoulders, it was a...
We need to bring in some great judges. From this final StreetKart Racing tournament, the top 50 female drivers and top 50 overall were invited to submit a 60-second video resume, and then our judges whittled it down to our finalists and to our Prodigy Pass winners. Let's introduce our judges here today for our StreetKart Racing selection show. Rejoining us is Cameron Das, who is just picking our 2 winners on the Race Room selection show. He's joined alongside by Catherine Legg, one of the 9 women to have been able to race in the Indy 500, a staunch supporter and advocate for female representation in motorsport, and joining us here at Racing Prodigy to ensure that there is representation in this opportunity as well. Catherine, I'm so glad that we can have you join us here for this selection show. You've got a very busy month coming up ahead of you in the month of May. You're going to be honored in the Long Beach Hall of Fame, Motorsports Hall of Fame this week as well. Tell us what you look for in some of these candidates as we build to giving this pipeline to sim racing drivers.
So I actually thought it was going to be easier than it turned out to be, because I thought that you would know the people that we picked immediately. However, it wasn't that easy. So there was a few things that I was looking for. First and foremost is like the hunger to want to do it, right? Like, how much do you actually want this? Would you give up everything else in your life just to be able to be a race car driver? Because that's what it's going to take, quite frankly. So it's the hunger and the drive. If you've got that hunger and the drive, then you're waiting for the opportunity. So you're already working out, you're already fit, you're already training, you're already doing all the things, you're already learning. So knowledge and fitness as well. And then there's some people who just have that like je ne sais quoi. Like I think you can tell the people who are going to make it from the people that aren't going to make it pretty quickly, pretty early on. But there were so many people who had something special about them in the videos that they submitted and in their CVs and resumes, whatever you call it. I get confused with my English to Americanisms. And it was actually really tricky because, you know, some of these guys are so good, but they haven't got any real life experience. So I don't know how you put a number or a percentage or anything like that on it. So Cameron was a big help. Actually, we were unanimous. Like, it was surprising. I said, I'll share with you who I think and you share who you think. And we were spot on. So I think I can't be doing that bad of a job.
And Cameron, you were, of course, there at Prodigy Week Part 1. You saw how some of these drivers who had only, been on StreetKart racing took to the real car and got up to speed. What did you look for when you started looking through this crop of candidates, especially with that knowledge in your back pocket?
Yeah, I mean, having seen Lawrence absolutely kill it in Prodigy Week 1, I knew that StreetKart's proven itself as a platform that, drivers can really prepare themselves for the real world. Which I think really took us by surprise, just how well he did. So I know every driver in these finalists are capable of doing well in Prodigy Week 2. It's just about what sets them apart. And I think a lot of that is what Catherine was mentioning. It's that spark, it's that determination, it's that mentality to always be learning and just kind of taking every day, little by little and improving throughout Prodigy Week. I think that's the main thing. So, I'm really excited to announce these finalists.
And I will say, I've been poking around with StreetKart racing myself. I wish I was as quick as some of these guys and the way they're able to make their phone go fast. Let's start announcing, though, 11 finalists. As I mentioned, we invited the top 50 female drivers and top 50 overall to submit their video resume to the Prodigy Search Selection Show. We whittled it down today to the 11 finalists. Let's start working our way one by one through all of them. Our first finalist here on StreetKart Racing is Aaron Alexander out of the United Kingdom. You can see him holding the trophy in that shot. He's 18 years of age, says he does 20 plus hours of sim racing a week, and he's here in the Last Chance Finals. Our second finalist is Amy Frame out of the United Kingdom as well, out of Middlesbrough, the Teesside to be specific. 16 years of age, has done plenty of endurance karting, and thinks that will hold her in good stead moving forward. Our third finalist is Eden Hatton, the 13-year-old from Australia. He's only been StreetKart racing for about 3 months. He's done rental karting, though, plenty of times, and something we often see from the StreetKart racing community is how people cross those skills from the real and virtual worlds. From Eden Hatton to Amy Yerger, 24 years of age from the Warwickshire in the UK. StreetKart racing for more than 5 years, actually was part of the beta team and then jumped back in to get back up to speed for the Racing Prodigy events and has plenty of experience across a real world competition. Our fifth finalist is Will Kennahan out of Ireland. That is, 16 years of age. Only StreetKart races here and there, but very, very quick and lots of experience as well. Our next finalist is Davide Scardino out of Latvia. The 43-year-old goes to the gym a couple of times a week, plays tennis as well. Some experience in karting and with the car, and we've seen as well here in the Racing Prodigy circles, age is but a number. Brenna Schubert is our next finalist out of Pennsylvania and has plenty of experience driving and testing multiple cars, all through her efforts to try and fund her real racing career. A step on the Racing Prodigy ladder would be the next journey for her to go through. Our oldest finalist of our selection shows here for Prodigy Week Part 2, Clayton Tidwell, is 58 years young and out of Texas, wants to try and take this experience from StreetKart racing and have his shot at a real-world professional racing contract. Alexandro Velma is 19 years of age out of La Habra, California. He's got his racing license, has gone and done a bunch of real-world experience in racing as well, and continues just to try and find his footing to grow sim racing, and very much believes in Racing Prodigy's mission. Our penultimate finalist is David Walagora. He says he's great under pressure. He's 23 years young out of Belgium and finds himself with only indoor karting experience. And last but not least, Armando Zavala, 22 years of age out of Guadalajara, Mexico. You can see him in his picture there on one of his rental karts. He's very much a strong competitor in the world of street kart racing and someone that finds himself watching all sorts of motorsports. So 11 finalists that we have been able to talk about, and you can see them on screen waiting to find out what's going to happen. At this point, we're able to announce that one male driver from the top 50 will make it to Prodigy Week. And so at this point, we'll start to narrow it down to 3 finalists. Let's start to take a look, though, at our submission video, starting with our...
Hello Cameron and Catherine, I'm Aaron Alexander, 18 years old, and here's why you should pick me for Prodigy Week. I've been karting since the age of 10, started out in cadets and I'm now in senior pro kart, racing at the very top level of the British Endurance Championship as a Haas factory driver. Since when I was younger, I had always wanted to progress into cars and or single-seaters, but I quickly realised it was money that was holding me back from them kinds of opportunities. But with Racing Prodigy, that could bring my younger self's dreams back alive. I'm really intrigued to see what I could do in a radical car with all them racing experience years I have under my belt. I've always been waiting for some sort of golden opportunity to get myself progressing in the motorsport world, and this would mean the absolute world to me if I could showcase what I can do in a car. Thank you all so much for watching my submission and for this opportunity. I hope to see you in Atlanta. Thank you.
And so there is Aaron Alexander. Look up at the camera, recognizes he's one of the 3 finalists. He's one step closer to Prodigy Week Part 2. And Cameron, when you looked at his experience, he's got factory karting backing as well. What stood out to you from his experience?
Well, first of all, he was quick in the StreetKart final, which is always important. But, I know he's in a fairly competitive championship in the UK, kart-wise. So we know he's already been able to translate some sim experience into the real world and actually apply that correctly. So I think he's going to be a formidable opponent potentially in Prodigy Week 2. He should be quick right out of the gate if he does get selected.
Okay, he's got 9 karting championships, 4 of them in junior and senior ranking, and so continues to build himself up. Let's learn, though, a little bit more about finalist number 2.
I'm Alexandro Velma, and I'm committed to advocating for Racing Prodigy's mission of enhancing inclusivity in motorsports should I be invited to Prodigy Week. Coming from a Latino-Americano background within an immigrant family, I understand the challenges faced within a career in motorsports. In this, I have fully dedicated myself to mastering and immersing myself in the world of motorsports and its aspects. These aspects include vehicle handling technique, work, education, training, and media engagement, so I may be a further asset to any team I become a part of. Educationally, I'm taking part-time studies as a motorsports engineer so I can be a vital communicator as a team member and a racing driver. My background as a current runner and former NCAA Division I track athlete has instilled in me the resilience, mental fortitude, and team mentality to have success in high-pressure sports, something prominent in motorsport. I'm ruthlessly committed to maximizing my driver forte and skill set in any way I can. Ultimately, my goal in this journey extends far beyond pure motorsport success. Although impeccably vital to me, I wish to be an ambassador for Racing Prodigy and a profitable figure, as well as to inspire others to pursue their passions regardless of perceived limitations. I'm excited about the prospect of contributing to the realization of our shared vision. Thank you for your time, and I hope to meet you all in May.
He's clearly someone that's passionate about our mission here at Racing Prodigy, and you can feel that enthusiasm watching that video. Catherine, I mean, you see all of that. What stands out to you about someone like Alexandro?
For me, he's got the it factor, right? Like, he's driven, He's organized. He's fit. He's an athlete. He wants it really badly. Like, he's into the engineering side of things. There's like, if I had gone into my racing career with what he's doing right now, I'd probably have made it to Formula One. Let me just say it like that. So I think he's definitely somebody, whether he wins it or not, he's definitely somebody for the future.
He's got that je ne sais quoi, you may be able to say that. 2 finalists down. Let's see a little bit more about our third and final finalists here for the first Prodigy Pass on StreetKart Racing.
23 years old, I am a well-known member in the StreetKart community, well known as Speed Devil. The reason why I want to participate in the Racing Prodigy is because I am a big fan of racing. I love to improve myself, and I am a big fan of being able to do things out of my comfort zone. I have actually never raced before in real race cars. I have never driven in a competition or something like that before, so it will be all new for me. It will be a big opportunity for me to get to know myself better as a race driver, as I only have experience in the sim racing. So that's a big thing why I'd like to be in the Racing Prodigy. So it will be a great ton of fun, I hope, and if I will be selected, it will be awesome. Yeah, thank you.
And so David Walagora, one of the top 10 racers on StreetKart Racing, so much experience there. Cam, what stood out to you when you take a look at that 60-second clip? It's not much time to really get a judgment of a driver's character.
No, it's really tough. I mean, part of it is we know David is one of the fastest drivers in StreetKart, so that obviously gives him a lot of brownie points. But he also does seem determined. He just hasn't really had that chance to really show what he can do in real life. As far as I'm aware, really basically no proper real world experience. So maybe Prodigy Week is that answer for him.
Well, we're down to our 3 finalists then. Remember, only one of these drivers heading to Prodigy Week Part 2. Aaron Alexander, Alexandro Velma, and David Walagora. We can take a look at the 3 drivers as we get ready to announce the first of our 2 Prodigy passes to be paid out on StreetKart Racing through our search selection process. Remember, the top 50 overall drivers were invited to submit their 60-second clip. We've whittled it down to these final 3. Let's not keep them waiting too much longer. Without further ado, heading to the Atlanta Motorsports Park to be part of Prodigy Week Part 2, it's Alexandro Velma, the winner of the Prodigy Pass. It's a smile on his face. I don't think he can quite believe it. Alexandro, what does this mean to you? Talk to us. You're going to be driving a Radical SR1 at Prodigy Week Part 2. Oh, there's the reaction. He's finally figured it out. Oh, we're just waiting for him to come and have a chat with us as well. Hopefully he'll come and have a chat with us. But you can see the reaction. You can see what it means to him. Cam, what do you think he's going through right now? You can see he can barely believe it.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine the emotions, all the hard work throughout the competitions. Obviously, I think he put probably the most amount of effort out of any finalist that I've seen to this point. And I've done 3 of these selection shows when it comes to his 60-second video. So note to all the other drivers out there, you know, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. He did a really, really fantastic job and certainly deserving of this.
I don't know if he's got his audio configured, so we're going to, unfortunately, I don't think, be able to have a chat with him just yet. You can see what it means, though. And again, congratulations to Alexandro, who will be joining us on May the 13th at Prodigy Week Part 2. Great to see the emotion. Great to see the smile. Can you hear us, Alexandro?
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Yes, I can, sir. I can hear you. Absolutely amazing, guys. I mean, I really want to go out and thank Mazda and Sucker Punch and Racing Prodigy and PitFit for putting all of this together. I'm still shaky. It's a lot, and I have so many people to thank, from my family, My mother and father have been absolutely amazing in supporting me through each and every step. My girlfriend Jocelyn has been pushing me to be the best I can. So PT Autosport has been a huge prominent factor in putting me and pushing me further. Henry Drury, Spencer Bucknam, Ryan Eversley, John Capesser Dubets. All these people have been really amazing in pushing me, towards something as crazy and ambitious as racing. So overall, thank you, Racing Prodigy. Thank you, Cameron Duss and Catherine Lake, for believing in me, and I promise I won't let down, guys. Thank you guys so much.
Can't wait to see how Alexandro runs at Prodigy Week Part 2. And glad at least we were able to hear his reaction. I think he was hearing the questions watching the stream rather than listening to us. One Prodigy Pass winner has already been awarded. As mentioned, the top 50 overall were invited to submit their video resume, but we also want to make sure that on our journey here at Racing Prodigy, that representation is a paramount feature as well. We also invited the top 50 female participants to submit their 60-second video resume. In our 11 finalists, we whittled it down to the 3 top female finalists. Let's learn a little bit more about each of them, starting with the first candidate in our 3 female top 3.
Coming from a low-income family, I've had to exhibit dedication and perseverance in order to create a sustainable future in motorsport. While attending Penn State University on a full academic scholarship, I was able to grow my social media, which allowed me to secure over $20,000 in sponsorship to fully fund my national karting season. My ability to create lasting relationships within the sport has also allowed me to obtain free seat time in cars, such as my social media partnership with Skip Barber Racing School, where I was able to get my full competition SCCA license at zero cost to me. My hard work paid off this year when I became the first woman in North America to win a mixed-gendered racing shootout by winning the PT Autosport Aspiring Driver Shootout. This awarded me a $100,000 partnership. I don't want to stop there though. It would mean the world to me to be able to prove myself to the Racing Prodigy team as well. And thank you for the consideration, but also thank you for providing these opportunities for underfunded drivers. It's really what the sport needs, so thank you for paving the way.
And someone that's definitely had to hustle for every opportunity in a real racing car. Catherine, when you look at that video submission, you look at her history in racing as well. What stood out to you from Brenna Schubert?
I think she's obviously been guided by some really good people, because she comes across as super well polished, and she's obviously gaining experience as and where she can. And I know all too well that you have to take every opportunity that you can and jump on it, and try and make the most of it. And sometimes you're not in a winning car, but you've got to do it to get the experience. So I like the fact that she's got that tenacity. It reminds me of me. She reminds me of Saber Cook in a way, where she's never given up either. And so there's a lot of very positive things about Brenna that I can see in a lot of young and up-and-coming drivers that are just trying to make it. And she comes across as very marketable for sponsors, very well put together, very intelligent, and I'm sure she will have a successful career.
Let's learn a little bit more about candidate number 2.
Hi, my name's Amy Frame, and I play StreetKart for a week now, but I already think it's such a great game and there's so many variety of tracks. My username is also Amy Frame. I think I'd be a great applicant for this competition because I already have an experience in endurance kart racing, which is so good to build your stamina, and just had great success in it. I think I'd be a good applicant against other competitors because I'm always hardworking, determined, and I have a strive to do well and succeed, because I feel like there's a pressure for girls to prove themselves in the sport, so I always want to be beating the boys. But yeah, I just always push myself, and I'm always open to criticism and just learn and get better, but I think this is a great opportunity for me.
There's Amy Frame sitting inside a car waiting to find out if she'll be behind the wheel of the Radical SR1 in a month's time. Cameron, what stood out to you when you take a look at the relatively little street kart racing experience, but the karting experience that she brings to the table?
Yeah, for sure. The karting experience can be super valuable. It's in fairly competitive championships in the UK. So that's going to mean she can hop into the SR1 and be quick straight away. On top of that, I think in the video she came across extremely put together. She came across natural, which is a big thing. And I think she sounded strong, like she would be a formidable component in Prodigy, or formidable opponent in Prodigy Week 2.
Opponent if you're one of the other drivers, but maybe a valuable asset for one of the coaches. Don't forget that. 2 female finalists already. We've already looked at their videos. Let's take a look, though, at that final 60-second submission video.
Hi, I'm Amy, a 24-year-old karter from Warwickshire in the UK. I've really enjoyed getting back into StreetKart racing recently after being one of the beta testers back in 2016. I started karting when I was 8 and have been fortunate enough to have driven a lot of karts since then, but never had the budget to give cars a try. After driving superkarts on long circuits since 2018, I feel that the opportunity to drive a Radical in Atlanta would be a really exciting next step in my motorsports career. Being the only female on the grid, or in the minority in my engineering role at Mercedes F1, doesn't faze me, so I'd like to use this opportunity to inspire others to feel the same way. Thank you for considering me for a Racing Prodigy golden ticket. I really hope to see you in Atlanta.
Always like seeing a bit of personality in the videos as well. And yeah, as I mentioned, someone that has been on StreetKart racing since its testing days, Catherine. So, someone that's been part of the StreetKart racing for a long time. What stood out to you when you took a look at Amy Jerger?
A number of things, actually. Firstly, it's how her hair stayed so perfect when she took her helmet off. But she came across to me as the whole package as well. She's very well put together. She's obviously been in racing with her F1 role for a long time too. She's got a bunch of experience. She seems very confident, which is half the battle. And honestly, it's half the battle with female drivers. They tend to be less naturally confident than the guys do. So I really like that about her too. And she again is one of those people who, once she's got the bit between her teeth, I'm sure she will do everything in her power to make it successful.
And so that's our 3 finalists announced, and we've been able to dive into their stories just a little bit. I can only imagine the nerves that they're feeling right now. There they are up on the screen, waiting to find out who will be flying to the Atlanta Motorsports Park to be part of Prodigy Week Part 2. Remember, after that, the next steps, the Prodigy Draft, the Real-World Prodigy Racing League, a chance at a real-world racing contract. That's what we're fighting for. Without further ado, the final driver heading to the second part of Prodigy Week. Our final Prodigy pass to be handed out in the search selections shows. Congratulations to our winner. Congratulations to Amy Frame heading to the Atlanta Motorsports Park. Amy, congratulations. Can see the smile on your face. Talk to us about what this means. You're going to drive the Radical SO1. Don't forget to unmute yourself as well.
Oh, that's so amazing. I didn't think I'd win at all.
Catherine, I mean, I'm sure you can imagine the shock that some of these drivers sometimes feel when they get these opportunities. What question do you want to ask Amy as she gets ready to go to Atlanta?
I think Amy seems very muted, and she's adorable. Alexandra's response almost made me want to cry, so I was prepared for Amy's, because I feel it in my bones, and I know what this means to everybody. So I guess the question I want to ask is, now that you have this opportunity, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Well, I think it'll open so many more opportunities, and obviously if you get the drive at the end, it can take you so many places, and I'm just so excited to see where that goes.
Talk to us about what you think is going to be the most difficult, Amy, at Prodigy Week Part 2. There's so much that goes into it, right? It's 3 non-stop days. 7:30 Monday, you start with the physical. It's a brutal test that PitFit's going to put you through. There's media training, there's the skid pad work, karting, autocross, all before you actually get into the Radical SO1, which I'm guessing is what you're most looking forward to. So let me turn the question around. What do you think is going to be the most interesting challenge that you're going to have when you get to the Atlanta Motorsports Park?
Well, obviously I do karting, so that'll be quite easy. But I think the most challenging thing will probably be the fitness, and just it's a whole different way of like having your body feel in a car. So I think that'll be quite challenging, but I'm ready.
I love the confidence. Amy, congratulations on winning this Prodigy Pass. We'll see you at the Atlanta Motorsports Park in a month's time to drive the Radical SR1.
Thank you.
Amy Frame.
Thank you. Can I thank Sucker Punch also for this opportunity, and Mazda, and obviously Racing Prodigy for all you guys like putting this on. It wouldn't be possible without you.
Amy Frame, congratulations, a very worthy winner. And let's be honest, every one of these drivers was worthy in their own way. And so Catherine, Cam, I want to just say, I'm sorry for making you pick, but I'm so glad that you did. I know, Catherine, you've got a busy month of May, so you'll be watching on from Indianapolis at everything that happens during Prodigy Week Part 2. What are you going to be looking forward to, though, seeing these sim drivers make that transition into the real car? Where do you think you're going to be looking to see those surprise drivers make their names known?
So I think for me, it's not going to be just about outright speed. It's going to be about how you learn and how you put what we're telling you into practice, right? It's potential. That's the best way I can put it. It's not where you're at right now. It's where I think you're going to be in 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, whether I think you're going to make it in the sport. And it's tough, but you have to be prepared to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Like you have to grab it by the horns and make the most of it. Like Amy said about the fitness and everything else. She better be in the gym twice a day right now. She better be making the most of it, because this is an opportunity that could change the course of her life, right? In 5 years' time, she could be a pro race car driver. And maybe without this, maybe she doesn't have the funding and the backing to go into open wheel and make her way through. It's also, it's how you grasp that opportunity and how you make the most of it. It's how you interact with everybody. It's how you make connections. It's how it's everything, you know. It's just, I think we'd be here all day if I said every tiny little aspect of what makes a race car driver and what gives people opportunities. But I think we'll very quickly see it just in the first couple of days, like even on a track walk, like, are you paying attention? Are you asking questions? Are you arguing with me? Are you doing this, that, and the other? You know, so there's so many intricacies that it should be easy to see. But then I said that about the selection process, didn't I, Cameron? I was like, oh yeah, I'll know them straight away. So Cameron has experience at the Prodigy Week, so I'll be leaning heavily on him.
And Cam, I guess, you know, something else that maybe we should be talking about is building up to the Prodigy draft. All those drivers that you got to see at Prodigy Week Part 1, they're going to be watching Prodigy Week Part 2 to see how their competition stacks up, because they now are effectively going head-to-head with those drivers for the real-world racing contracts.
Yeah, in a way, it's like the Prodigy Week 2 competitors have an advantage because they saw what the Prodigy Week 1 drivers did, but then the Prodigy Week 1, as you said, we'll get to see who they're stacked up against when we come to the actual race series. So yeah, it's tough, but I think it's gonna come to the smarter drivers, the ones that are ultimately soaking stuff up like a sponge. I mean, for me in Prodigy Week 1, the most impressive drivers were the ones that didn't necessarily have the best baseline to start with, but they just adapted through the 3 days. And some of them you saw like from just the first sleep from day 1 to day 2, and it was like light bulbs went off straight away. And others, it might have been a little bit later. And that says a lot about a driver's character.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for both of your help in making these difficult decisions and supporting our mission here at Racing Prodigy. And we're only a month away from Prodigy Week Part 2. Don't forget all of the action live here exclusively on Racing Prodigy's YouTube channel. It's going to be long days, 8 a.m. around on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Join us for all of the coverage because it is going to be busy and there's so much to get through. Thank you to all of the people that have brought us to this point as well, on the cusp of doing this once again. Sucker Punch, MPI, Mazda, SimLab, Grid, Aztec Sim Sports, and of course Advanced Sim Racing, and the entire Street Kart Racing community. I can't wait to see that entire community out in support of their drivers at Prodigy Week Part 2 when we get underway. It's not far away. Until then, for the team behind the scenes, so long.
You look at the number of participants who had a shot at this, who wanted to be one of 12 of 60-something thousand. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself. What a diverse group of drivers, what a diverse group of participants. Just really cool. They should all be very, very proud.
Players around 4 platforms. I mean, I'm lucky to be here.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the sky. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the sky. Hickory dog, giving them to determine. Right in the storm, but focus on rainbow connections like Kermit. The water on my shoulders.